Have you ever made a hard, honest decision and then immediately felt more terrified than you did before you made it? That is one of the most disorienting parts of real change. You did the thing, you had the conversation, set the boundary, walked away, or you committed to staying. And instead of relief, you feel like you are waiting for proof that you did not just make a massive mistake. In this video, I'm going to show you why your brain panics after an honest choice is made, how to shift your goal from calm to congruence, and 3 specific anchors you can use to stay on your own side while you wait for the ground to settle. Hi, I'm Jessica. After making a significant life choice, you may feel especially vulnerable and perhaps exposed. You have dismantled the old structure, but the new structure has not formed or been built yet. You are standing in the open. And in that open space, the brain's natural response is to panic. It looks around, sees the familiar safety is gone, and starts sending distress signals. Did I make a mistake? Was I too hasty? Should I go back and fix it? That panic is not proof that you made the wrong choice. It is proof that you made a real one. Your body does not know the difference between a dangerous disruption and a necessary one. It just knows that things have changed, and change feels like a threat. So if you are waiting to feel calm before you trust your decision, you are asking your nervous system to do something it is actually not designed to do. Calm comes later. The goal is not calm. The goal is establishing congruence, and those are 2 completely different things. If you have ever made a hard, honest choice and then immediately wanted to take it back just to make the anxiety stop, take a second and tap the like button. It helps this video reach people who are experiencing the same thing. So, here's what's happening. When you make a choice that disrupts your life, your nervous system registers the disruption, not the integrity of the choice. Our brains are wired for homeostasis, which means it wants to keep things exactly as they were, even if it was hurting you. It prefers familiar pain over unfamiliar freedom. When you make a choice that moves you out of an old pattern, you are entering a new developmental season. On the integrity wheel, the aftermath of a hard choice usually lands squarely in spring. Spring is the season of becoming. It is where the new, honest thing begins to take root. But early spring is incredibly fragile. The ground is bare. The new growth is barely visible. And the temptation to retreat back into the familiar cold of winter is very strong. In early spring, you do not have the evidence yet. You do not have the new relationship, the new stability, or the new identity fully formed. You only have the truth that the old way was no longer sustainable. And that is the hardest part of self-trust. Self-trust is not trusting that everything will work out perfectly. Self-trust is trusting that you are telling the truth when you made the choice. You have to trust the version of you that made the decision, even when the current version of you is scared. For example, if you finally set a boundary with a family member, the version of you that set it was clear and honest, but the version of you sitting alone in your living room 3 hours later might be terrified of the fallout. You have to let the clear version lead. What I've observed is that people in this phase keep asking the wrong question. They keep asking, did I make the right choice? And that question has no answer yet because the outcome has not arrived. So the brain loops, it interrogates, it second guesses. And the longer it loops, the more the original clarity starts to feel like it was never real. The problem is not that you lack an answer. The problem is that you are asking the wrong question. So here's the shift. The question is not, did I make the right choice? The question is, was I honest when I made it? If the choice was honest, it was the right choice for that moment, even if it's messy now, even if it hurts, even if you have to adjust your course later. You do not need the outcome to validate the integrity of the decision. The integrity is in the honesty, not the result. When you stop demanding that the outcome prove your worth, the panic begins to settle. You can tolerate the discomfort of the unknown because you are no longer abandoning yourself to avoid it. If this framework is helping you make sense of where you are, please consider subscribing. New videos are published 2 to 3 times a week, and this is the type of work we explore together. So, how do you actually practice self-trust in the aftermath of a hard choice? You start by anchoring yourself to what you already know instead of what you cannot control. First, anchor to the original truth. When the truth hits, your brain will try to rewrite history. It will tell you the old situation wasn't that bad or that you overreacted. When that happens, you have to actively recall the truth that forced the decision. Write it down. I left because I was disappearing. I stayed because the foundation is solid. Anchor to the truth that was clear before the fear took over. Second, separate discomfort from danger. Discomfort means you are growing. Danger means you are unsafe. When you feel the urge to undo your choice, ask yourself, am I actually in danger or am I just deeply uncomfortable? Most of the time, it's just discomfort, and you can survive discomfort. Third, let the choice breathe. Do not demand immediate proof that you did the right thing. Give the decision time to settle into your life. The new structure takes time to build. The new identity takes time to form. Trusting yourself means giving yourself the grace of time. If you just quit a job that was burning you out, do not demand that your new career path be perfectly clear by the end of the week. Let the space exist. Trusting yourself after a hard choice is not a feeling. It is a practice. The practice of standing on your own side, even when the ground feels shaky. You do not have to be fearless. You just have to be willing to stay with yourself through the transition. When the doubt creeps in, remind yourself you made the choice because the old way was no longer honest. The discomfort you feel is the cost of becoming honest, and that cost is worth paying. What is one hard choice you made recently that you are still learning to trust? Let me know in the comments. In the next episode, we look at what actually happens when self-trust becomes your baseline, not just after one hard choice, but as a way of moving through your life. That video is called What Happens After You Start Trusting Yourself, and it's the best place to go next. It'll be on your screen once it's published. This work matters. You matter. And I'll see you in the next one.